podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Achtung Millwall. Broadcasting from beautiful South Bermondsey, it's the #1 Millwall podcast. Accept no substitute.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome to Achtung Millwall. My name is Nick Hart. You join me here on a beautiful sunny evening in May. Playoff football, second leg, a home leg. Biggest game for Millwall at 25 years, possibly, arguably, ever. Given the riches of the Premier League that are potentially on offer if we get past Hull City tonight, dear listeners. We're just waiting for the two teams to come out onto the pitch. It's a sold-out den. Already a couple of mighty bellows of the wall of sound, and no one likes us. We are just now waiting for the sides to come out. Huge posse of photographers down there. They've got a Sky Bet entry, a gate kind of thing set up down there. It's going to be a big night. I've already heard from Paul Robinson urging the Lions onwards. This is a massive night, dear listeners. I went up to Hull City Friday night. I thought we played pretty well up there, but this is going to be another tight game. It's an unchanged Lions side for you this evening. I can see on my half of the screen, I can see the players are now in the tunnel, ready to come out. Unchanged side. So that'll be Patterson. That'll be a back line of Leonard, who I thought played brilliantly up there. Kramer, Cooper and Sturge. In front of them, Derek Mazusaku, Casper Donardi attacking three, of course, Camille Negley, Femi Aziz and Tierno Balla up front. It's Josh Coburn. Today has dragged. It seems to have been all I've been doing is kicking around, scratching around, waiting for this almighty moment. Let's hope that nerves and the occasion don't overwhelm our players. Here come the sides, listeners. No Gavin Wall tonight, thankfully, refereeing. Lions tonight will be in a dark blue and white, played in all ivory, cream up there at the MKM Stadium. Hull retain their amber and black colours. Normally when I do these shows I produce a whole bunch of notes to refer to, but I haven't done that. I don't know what notes I can produce. The occasion is so simple, so stark. Win tonight, we go to Wembley. Lose, it's go home, end of the season. Everything's on this 90 minutes. A magnificent season, of course, but it will be very disappointing if we don't proceed. That could be football. All I ask is, as Alex Neal said, that we leave it all on the pitch. We give 100%. That's all I ask. We don't regret anything. No penalty shootouts either. That's another request. That's 2 requests I've got of the gods of football. 3, that we win. They're up there on top of the Celtic incinerator station, playing chess with the lives of mere mortals. Pretty much huddle for both sides. Jake Cooper appears to have won the toss, and we will be attacking the away end in the first half, as per the instructions and teachings of the Venerable B, rising at Jarrow Monastery in Anglo-Saxon England. Millwall shall attack if ye away end in the first half, he wrote, which is an amazing but true story. Season comes down to this. Away we go. Well, I thought we played pretty well up at Hull City on Friday night. I posted my little end of game video and got all sorts of saucy comments from Hull City fans saying that they never really got close to us. They had an early chance, didn't they? But apart from that, I really didn't see much from them. There was a second half header. That was about it, as far as I could tell. But possibly they played like Brazil 70 up there. I don't know, but I missed it if that's so. This is Hull, though, before I go too snarky. I'm on the left side. It's great work there by Femi Aziz. He's given away a left side corner, though. Shaft of sunshine illuminating the goal at the moment. It's still daylight. Floodlights are on, of course, and it comes. That's headed high and wide. Hull pressing. There's been a lot of Hull possession in our half. Too much of my liking. Ball in from the left side. Left side corner. 9 minutes. Bit of early Hull pressure. In it comes. Oh, headed downwards and collected by Anthony Patterson as it rebounded off the floor there. Far post. You dirty northern bastards. Good old school song. Heard that one up at Hull, we're hearing it back at the Den. Coming towards, 12, 13 minutes. Haven't really shown much coming forward so far. It's been predominantly Hull City in possession in our half, in fairness. Which isn't in the script. If this was a film, I'd go back to my script writers and say, give me a better script. Launch forwards, it falls to... Cleared. Falls to the defender. Millwall trying just knock it around and just not quite clicking at the moment, listeners. Well, if the first game was cagey at the MKM Stadium, I think this one's equally as cagey so far, listeners. 14 minutes. Millwall gone backwards rather than forwards, yeah. All the way back to Patterson in goal. It's a game of poker. As Alex Neil said after the first leg, no one wants to be the man that makes the mistake. It's Hull City in possession on the right side now. Two puts the ball in. Header wide. Goal kick. No corner. Right side corner. Well, so far, dare I say, it's a reverse image, almost like a negative image of the game on Friday night, where we had loads of possession, in the first half at least, without really going anywhere. So far, Hull haven't really carved out a direct chance, but 15 minutes in, and it's been predominantly the ball's been in the Millwall half. Right side corner in for Hull. In it comes. Oh, flick header, skids past the left post. Liven up Millwall is the consensus opinion around me. Rightly so. No, not quite clicking, not quite finding our man. And we seem to be giving the ball to an amber shirt a lot. Anyhow, this is Casper Denor now bringing out. He falls to Negley, does a brilliant take and turn. Wow, I thought he'd given that away. Trying to cut inside, this is still Negley. He's dispossessed of the last there. That's gone back to the goalkeeper. Chased in there by Ballow, but they do bring out. Alex Neil has said that we'll try and win both games. We didn't win the first one, but we've got to win this one. There's nowhere else to go with it. But this is Leonard and Aziz. Ball into the middle, a little dropped away. It falls to Negley. Didn't get hold of that on the volley at all. Negley now on the left. What can he do? He's got a beautiful ability to turn and dummy. We'll just keep possession more conventionally there. This is Derek to Tristan to Ryan Leonard on the right. Floats a decent ball in. There's Negley back into the middle. Coburn bouncing around. Oh, there's a shot on target from Ballow. There's a moment there. Mill keep possession. First chance here, listeners. This is Jake Cooper now. This is a Sturge on the left side. Ball is such a slight deflection. It's headed out. Balls to Jake Cooper. Will he have a go? Shoot is the crowd. This is Denor. Finds Aziz on the right side. Bit of flowing football now from Millwall at last. He takes and checked inside the penalty area. What can he do? Shot on target. Batted up into the... not into away by the goalkeeper. Good shot on target there by Femi Aziz. That's got the crowd going, dear listeners. Derek now in the centre circle. Millwall starting to look a little bit more dangerous. 19 minutes. Ballow finds Leonard on the right. We're going back. We'll keep possession by going backwards. And the goal is forwards. This is why I'd never make a good football manager. Listen, I'd be up and under, 4-4-2. Lump it forward to the big bloke. All forwards, that's going to be cleared away from the prowling Josh Coburn. 20 minutes, it's Millwall's turn now to get possession. It's going to be a right side corner from Femi. We're on, we've gone past 22 minutes, 23 perhaps. In it comes. Oh, shot from distance. goes wide from Negley. I think that was Ryan Leonard rushing in there for that ball. It moved so fast I couldn't comment on it, listeners. Ball down the line. This is Casper Denor. He's got Coburn in the middle. Oh, it's just played in behind him. There's a moment there. Ballo wins the ball back. Falls to Denor. Another poor ball. Poor cross. Coburn was wanting there. It's gone over his head though. 26 minutes. After a difficult opening phase, we're now starting to move through our gears, in my opinion. Looked a lot more threatening in the last 10 minutes than we did in the opening 15 to 20. In comes a corner. It's going to be taken by the goalkeeper. It's too close to him, unfortunately. Yeah, both sides have had decent phases of play. The whole at the early start part of the game, Millwall, that kind of middle section. But at the moment, both cancelling each other out rather. We're on 37 minutes. Well, it's tense stuff. I think, it's a given that playoff football is going to be tight, it's going to be tense, and that's very much how it is tonight. We've shown some nice phases of play in this first half. Probably haven't quite clicked, got a shot on target yet to the extent we would want, but neither's Hull shown much either. So just a slight delay here whilst we get this Hull player treated. But so far, I suppose you've got to say so far so good. No one's winning, no one's losing. I was just going to say we've had 130, nearly 133, 134 minutes so far of football between these two sides, and I was just about to say we haven't had a goal. We did get a goal that was disallowed, so we have a debate as to whether that counts or not as a goal. But it's a lot of football with a dearth of real chances for both sides. Neither side want to make the error, as we've said. He's getting a lot of treatment, this 22. I think from the pre-match videos that I saw, that's Joseph. So is it Ryan Joseph, whose dad is a Millwall fan? He's limping off now, arms around the two trainers. In the empathetic environment of the den, dear listeners. Number 10 coming in. He was the boy who made that mazy run at the start of the game on Friday. Shot into the side netting. I think he might have touched the post. Ball falls to Hull City on the left side of 25. 9 now. Central. Free kick conceded. Millwall. It was a danger free kick. 24 yards out, just left of the D. Must be close to half-time. This may be the last action of the first half. Here we go. The 9 takes. It's high over the bar, as you would have gathered. And there's half-time. Well, tight game. Scrappy game, arguably, but then you don't watch playoff football for the beauty of it all, listeners. 0-0 at the break. It's 0-0 overall, aggregate, and all to play for in the second half. Stay tuned. Well, teams are coming out for the second half, listeners. As you can gather, Millwall's just come on the pitch after what was, in truth, not a game that will trouble the football purists, whoever they are. I've never met a football purist, have you? But anyway, if there are any out there, they will not have been troubled by that first half particularly. This is a game 45 minutes now from Wembley. For one of these two teams, someone's got to take a chance and press forwards and try and win it. I think Millwall have the capacity to do that. We didn't quite click. We had moments in the first half where we had some flowing football, but we didn't really use Josh Coburn to the fullest extent. I'm hoping we do in the second half, and also that we start to see better passing, possibly from one Barry Bannon at some stage. Let's see. We've just kicked off. This is Ryan Leonard on the right side. Spreads it. In truth, the crowd haven't really had much to get their teeth into. I mean, the occasion, obviously, you can get your teeth into that, but you do need some chances, and we haven't really created much in the way of direct chances. The only one I can think of was a moment for Tierno Ballo in the first half, which seemed to be scuffled away from the 6-yard box. This is Ryan Leonard on the right side. This is Negley inside his Casper Denor. He spreads it lovely onto the left side. 46 minutes. We'll keep in possession. It's given away by Coburn as it was fired in at him. Millwall not finding any room or space in the middle at the moment, listeners. As I said earlier on, at half-time, maybe a Barry Bannon situation. This is Holder on a break forwards, ball over the heads of everyone. Goal kick. 55, going towards 56 minutes. Mihailo's coming in, Ballo coming out. So we're going to go 2 up front. Alex Neil makes the gamble, listeners. 59 minutes. You get a sense that we are going to increasingly go for it, and they are going to look for dead ball situations like a corner, e.g. this one, to get that crucial first goal. Whoever gets that is going to be in the driving seat in this tie. In comes the corner. It's over the heads of everybody. We've got to stay switched on. Ball back into the middle. End of the way. This is launched forwards by Ivanovic. Deep. I couldn't do this every week, listeners. Tension I'm talking about. You couldn't do it all the time. It's not good for you. Well, here comes Doughty for Zach Sturge. Good applause for Zach Sturge. He's played well for me tonight. Looks like it's going to be Barry Bannon for Denor as well, listeners. So Millwall are rolling the dice. We're at the Vegas Casino and we're sitting at the high rollers table now, listeners. In comes Bannon, in comes Doughty. Ball spreads rightwards. This is Hull City on the attack here, listeners. Goal fired in from the 10. On the right side. 1-0 Hull. 68 minutes, just over halfway through the second half. Lions, of course, now behind, trailing to that well-taken goal by the, I think it was the 10. We haven't really clicked tonight, listeners. At no stage have we really looked dangerous. We looked threatening for a period in the first half, but we haven't really consolidated that at all. We've got 20 minutes of regular time in which to try and save our season now, listeners. Alex Neil has rolled the dice, 2-man forward line. Bannon and Doughty into the fray. Can't do much more than that in truth. Our passing has just been off kilter, listeners. A little bit like the old days of video when the tracking wasn't quite on it and the mouth movements and the dialogue was off. Is that kind of feeling tonight? Oh, that's a poor ball by Bannon, gives the ball away. This is a big chance here for the 27. That's deflected over. Wow. Big moment, a big chance there. Free chance for Hull City. It's gone for a left side corner. Hull win the ball back though. On the break on the right side, this could be good night Vianetta. Ball finds the 15. Goes through Patterson, it's 2-0. There it is. Break on our defence with balls being given away. It's been a story tonight, listeners. I'm afraid it's not been the greatest of performances from the Lions. I can't see us coming back from 2 now. 10 minutes left on the clock, 11 maybe. People filing for the exits, cold blow and the opposite in the Dockers stand. 80 minutes. It's not been the greatest of performances from the Lions tonight, listeners. Like I've said a few times across this coverage, we've not really clicked at any stage. Passes have gone astray, and maybe the occasions got to the players. I don't know. Hull have taken their chances. 2 in the second half that they created. They've taken them well, so fair play to them for that. One of those nights. We do seem to have had a bit of a struggle with Hull at home, don't we? Maybe a couple of minutes now to go of added time. Disappointing into what has been a very exciting season. Obviously to come so close to automatic promotion and then miss out on the playoffs is probably a classic way to finish a disappointment. I'm trying to find the right words. It comes so close to winning automatic promotion and fall out of the playoffs over 2 legs, having committed so much to the first leg. Is a gutter. Maybe given a bit of time, I'll come up with a more eloquent assessment of the 25-26. It's been a good season. I've seen a lot of players come through. Almost certainly some will leave us in the summertime, and we'll see what new batch we get in the recruitment of the warmer months. But it's quite hard to think of anything that's particularly coherent standing right here, right now, as this season peters out to a rather limp finish, in truth. I will be speaking to Merv in the morning, and obviously we'll include any voicemails that I receive. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's listened to the show, though. Across what has been a pretty good season overall. Let's try and keep it real here. But I do want to say thank you to you, dear listener, for tuning into this show. I enjoy making it, despite this rather disappointing and flat ending to it. But anyway, we'll be back with Merv tomorrow morning, and the voicemails too. So there it is. Finishes 2-0 to Hull City. Be back after these messages.
Looking to see what's happening around your home? Ring's battery doorbell helps you track packages and see who's at your door in real time. The Outdoor Cam Plus protects your yard at night with a wide field of view and clearer Retinal 2K video. Or upgrade to 4K cameras and doorbells with Retinal Vision for ultra-clear zoom and detail. Your door, your yard, your home. With Ring, it's protected. Shop cameras, doorbells, and more at ring.com now.
Achtung, Millwall.
Welcome back, dear listeners, in the wake of last night's 2-0 loss at home to Hull City in the playoff final. Only last week, Merv and I were talking about Millwall's very checkered history at championship level player football, and we've got another chapter to talk about now, Merv. Still, our best ever result remains an away draw, as it was in 2002, as it is in 2026, mate.
Yeah. 8 games and counting now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
quite hard to believe. I think one of the last, I was getting so fed up with doom scrolling.
Yeah,
With the pre-match sort of hype yesterday, and one of the last things I saw was Hull's record in the playoffs at this level and ours, and Hull's is just sublime.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, it means nothing. We discussed this last week going into the play. All the history and everything, it means absolutely nothing, because every new playoff campaign's a new start, a clean slate. And these records are there to be broken. But then you start building up hope that it's going to be our time, and it wasn't.
Well, the thing is, for me, I mean, we played 2 games against Hull City. The away leg, I thought we handled very well on Friday night. To bring a 0-0 draw back to the Den was always going to be a good result. And it was 50-50 last night, really, until the crucial point in the second half, where, as Alex Neil says on the BBC, we rolled the dice. He says he rolled the dice early. Gambles have a habit of either winning or losing, Merv, and unfortunately, when you take a gamble, which has, done us so well this season, so many situations, sometimes it blows up in your face, and that's what happened last night. We were a goal behind almost within a moment of bringing on Alfie Doughty and Barry Bannon last night, weren't we?
Yeah, it was a catastrophic substitution, wasn't it? Obviously it's easy for us to sit here and criticise that, and it's easy looking back to say, oh, we got that wrong, But Alex Neil has always been brave and prepared to take risks, and they've backfired before now, and he's admitted it. For me, I think I was so overjoyed that we didn't come away from Hull with a damaging deficit.
Yeah,
because I was partly fearing that we'd maybe lose by a couple of goals and it would be all over before we'd even got to the Den. Yeah. I think I got carried away and described us as absolutely magnificent on Friday night, which with hindsight we probably weren't quite that good. But I just thought we dealt with them. We seemed to deal with them really well. And with a bit more luck from the referee in this injury, we might have had a slender lead. But I got the feeling Alex Neil wasn't that even he was quite pessimistic coming into the second leg, and that he felt we needed a bit more from the away game. I think we needed to match our league performance there and come away with quite a substantial lead. So that because what it boiled down to was Alex Neil decided to do exactly the same thing again as he did on Friday.
Well, unchanged started 11, wasn't it, last night?
The whole manager, he said that he watched it back and decided he had to do something different. He switched format, and that could be a gamble. That could have backfired. I saw some Hull fans saying, that we might regret this. But most of them are saying it's genius. It's just what we need to do. And from minute one, to me, it looked like it worked. My fear was that Hull would come at us. We know they're good on the break. We know they're quick, and we know they break with pace and incisive passing and width. We look very nervous every time they broke, and I just think it rattled us. And I think after about 10, 15 minutes, we sort of maybe tried to galvanise ourselves, because obviously already it was affect the crowd were I think a little bit.
Well, there's a buzz, isn't there? The initial buzz started to fade. It was all whole start.
If we didn't start strongly, at least with some attacking football, that it would start to, make the fans a bit anxious. And we had a little 10-minute spell where you thought, right, finally we're getting back into it.
We started to flow, didn't we?
Weathered the storm. We've not gone too down like we did at home to them in the league, and they looked dodgy when we attacked them. Aziz was having a bit of joy. Ballo could have scored. But just as quickly it faded again. They weathered that, and they came out in the second half quite bullish. But
at the start of the second half, I still felt we were under this kind of weight, both sides really, that nobody wanted to be the man that made the mistake, and that was one of the points that came out of Friday's match. Obviously Alex Neil decided that he was going to roll the dice, as they say, so bringing in Doughty and Bannon. I mean, I've seen a lot of comment online about Doughty's his condition and the fact he's been a disappointment overall since he signed for us, even though he's one of our own, as the song says. So bringing him in for Zach Sturge did allow the defensive space that Hull exploited within moments, pretty much. But many were calling for Doughty to start. I mean, further forwards, perhaps in place of Ballo, Merv. So, it's a very fickle film football comment, isn't it? What you say in the moment blows up in your face the next, It's
the crucial thing that the whole striker went off injured, which we thought was going to work in our favour.
Yeah.
He's replaced by Balumi, who caused us untold problems in the first leg as well. He was really skillful and nippy. But Zach Sturge was dealing with him. Albeit it was restricting how much Sturge could get forwards. Yeah. At least we were containing them, and at least we weren't losing. Doughty, a bit like for me, a bit like Joe Bryan, the other left back we have, or the other left-sided player, defensive player we have to call him, isn't a defender. I think it's as simple as that, and I think he proved that. Again, easy with hindsight. We're all experts with hindsight, but maybe the change, rather than Ivanovic for Ballo, was Doughty for Ballo.
Maybe get the ball into
because there's absolutely no denying Doughty's skill and
his ability to pinpoint across. As you say, defensively, he just looked a bit off the pace. But there we are. I thought the first goal would be crucial. You're chasing it, Merv, and
you could sense. I know, without sounding too doom, you could sense it. That was it. I mean, I thought, one goal was going to decide it, but we were then sort of committed to going forward and pushing for an equaliser, and that suited Hull down to the ground. That's exactly what they wanted. They knew that once they got ahead, they could just pick us off, and in the end, it could have been 3 or 4, unfortunately.
Patterson. I mean, what's the song? They picked a fine time to make your first mistake, Anthony Patterson, with that second goal, because that was game, set, and match. Really, I think we were up against it at one down, Merv, but. Two became like the north face of the Eiger for us at that point, and we weren't going to come back. But there we go. Finishes 2-0 with Hull taking a decisive chance. We didn't really create much going forwards, Merv.
No, we didn't. I mean,
that's the thing that struck me coming out of the ground.
Yeah. What I was nervous about was, and I've jotted a few things down about what went wrong overall over the season. It seems a bit nasty considering we've had a fantastic season. There's no denying that. I'm not. No one's up for personal criticism. We've had a great season. 83 points, finished third. But if you want to have a post-mortem, we always had this dodgy home performance in this, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we saw it against Portsmouth. We saw it against Blackburn. We saw it against Norwich. We sort of we thought we'd shaken it off against QPR and Oxford, but I think the fact that they were so poor masked that. Bannon was imperious against Oxford, but then that probably wouldn't take much to be with the greatest respect to Oxford. It's the home form, and I think we're still the 6th best home form in the league. I think it wasn't shabby. I think 42 points.
But it was crucial moments, wasn't it?
Yeah,
crucial
it was
games.
Times when we needed to dig in. Say what you like about the Sturge red card against Blackburn. It was overturned, but even so, I've seen us beat Stoke 2-0 down to 9 men. To be winning 1-0 against a team in the bottom 6 with 10 minutes to go, you have to hold on to at least a point there. And had we done that against Blackburn and Norwich, we wouldn't be sitting here moaning about another playoff failure. And I think I worked out we dropped 20 points to the clubs in the bottom 7 of the table, which, you're going to slip up away from it. But that to me is, and it's an age-old Mill tradition that I was brought up on. I was told that we always do well when we're not expected to, against the bigger sides, and we always struggle to beat the teams down near the bottom. Even the first promotion season I ever remember, 84-85, when we finished with 90 points in second place, we couldn't. We got beat at Preston, who went down. I think we got beat at Burnley, down. We got beat at Cambridge, who finished rock bottom and hardly beat anyone all season. And it was baffling to me then as a 12-year-old, and I still don't get it now, how we can't beat the likes of.
Portsmouth have doubled us this season, home and away.
Bizarre it seems to be in our DNA. And it's strange to sit here and say that our home form probably cost us promotion. But there it is.
I think you're right.
Losing the home leg of the playoffs, I think, completely and utterly draws a big line under this that said, "Here it is, guys. Here's the neon sign. If you want to know what went wrong, this is it." We couldn't win crucial games at the Den, which is a shame because we had a record attendances, record amount of sellouts.
Well, there's so much good news around. I mean, I was coming. I drove over last night, listeners. So imagine my surprise to find the Rotherhithe Tunnel had been closed for no reason that I could see. So anyway, I had plenty of time to mull over the season as I was trying to get over Tower Bridge instead. And in a funny kind of way, Merv, last night's match, a 2-0 loss, playoff decisive game, sums us up because we've done incredibly well to get into the playoffs. We've done incredibly badly, all in one game, Yeah,
we grafted, and it's quite often the playoffs aren't a reflection of the season. But I think those 2 games probably encapsulate it for us. Well, in one respect, injuries of
that didn't help
that season. You can only wonder what might have been had we had Caleb Taylor alongside. That would have freed up
Cramer on the right.
It frees up Cramer, who I think, whatever anyone says, I think Cramer's a better right back than he's a centre half. Centre half might be his position, but I don't think he looks as comfortable there, and I don't think he's as much of a threat there as he's on the right. So that we know straight away that Cramer and Aziz, their partnership is brilliant. It's brought us a lot of joy. So in injuries, doing well away from home, but not doing it at home, all encapsulated in 2 playoff games, summing up the whole season really. And
in a nutshell.
And I think any other thing you can perhaps add to it, which again is wonderful with hindsight, but they don't have the benefit of that at the time, is I think when we look back now, we have to admit we had a poor January transfer window.
In hindsight, the lack of right back, the lack of a goal scorer. If you want someone, we went 2 up top yesterday with Ivanovic and Coburn. Come back to Coburn in a moment. But it's been, I don't know. There's some players that have really shone this season. Some have been so. And I think, it's probably not the right time to start picking out individuals who we can all pick out.
I think that's fair. But in terms of the window, you look at the players brought in the window. Bannon was probably, he was hot and cold. It was sometimes.
It was a strange signing, Merv.
I saw people on X suggesting that it definitely wasn't an Alex Neil signing, and he didn't even know how to play him.
To use him. Well, that was apparent. That was apparent, wasn't it? Because we, when we did play him, it was few and far between.
There's been times when he's been brilliant. When we were clinging on at Middlesbrough and looking for a bit of stability, it would switch away. He came on and he calmed the team down. Of course, he was a virtuoso performance against Oxford. But there are times. I mean, last night it just didn't go well for him at all. And Tommy Watson's been pretty much non-existent. Someone like he must not have any faith in him if he didn't even bring him on.
Well, he's shown in his appearances when he has played, Watson. I mean, he's shown nothing.
No, and I think the hope was that he would be a left. He would offer on the left what Aziz offers on the right, and it's not.
No,
Patterson's been okay. Patterson may well have saved us a few points. great save at Ipswich and stuff like that. I think
He's made some world class saves, and he won that Save of the Season award for I think it was Birmingham. So
on the whole, we just didn't do enough in the transfer window to get that extra couple of points we needed, sadly. But it's not a criticism. The recruitment has been great. There's only so much the club can do, and the January transfer windows are notoriously hard to get anything out of. I think Ipswich did. Ipswich were very busy in the January window and got players that improved them, and we didn't, unfortunately.
I suppose we're now pitched into the summertime transfer talk from here onwards, really. And from our point of view, the season is now finished. The obvious candidates to be up for sale, I suppose, will be Femi Aziz. Tristan Crum has been spoken about through the season. Would possibly even now Camille Negley, I suppose, Merv. I'll be of the three, he's probably the one that I would probably want to retain if we can. He just looked such a talent.
Aziz looked devastated last night. All the players looked, but Aziz looked particularly distraught. I saw comments saying his head's been turned and he's not been the same since the window. I disagree with that. I think he's just got better and better. He's become a marked man. That's the thing. He's well known as our danger man, and he was.
Teams doubled in on. They doubled up on him last night. They doubled up on Kobe.
Absolutely no way in my mind that he's been anything other than 100% focused on Millwall. And I think he desperately wanted to get into the Premier League with Millwall. And last night realised that he probably will be a Premier League player come August, but not obviously not with us.
One of the promoted sides might want to think about him, and rightly so. He's got to earn his money whilst he can. I mean,
I was thinking the big problem with losing the Championship playoffs as opposed to, say, the League One ones is if that was League One last night and we'd say, you'd be 99% certain we'd go again stronger next season. It would be fairly easy to come back stronger next season, perhaps go one better. The Championship's so much different to that. As harsh as it sounds, we really are pretty much back to the drawing board in terms of the squad because we're going to lose players. We've got
we don't really know who we're going to be signing, and they're going to be names that we probably won't know very much about because that's the model we use.
Certain players are going to step up a level. They're going to go to that next level next season and be really good. Such as Negley's going to keep getting better. Del Boy's going to be really good. He looked good last night.
He stood out, and he apparently was in tears after the game. He's only a young kid. And
the problem is the other teams in the Championship. The teams coming down, which is. Of course, the booby prize is we get to play West Ham or Spurs next year. That was the thing that kept a smile on my face when it was all going wrong. I thought, at least we'll have because it's still not clear, but we know it's going to be one of the two, so that'll be fun.
Because they got beat last night, Tottenham, didn't they? So that's not a done deal at all.
Whoever, all three teams coming down will have lots of money to spend. They'll be very strong. The other teams that miss out on the playoffs, Middlesbrough, Southampton, will be strong. Will have money to spend.
Yeah.
The likes of Wrexham, Birmingham will spend money.
Yeah.
Teams that disappointed this year will be stronger next year. Sheffield United, Norwich, Derby were on the up, on the rise. It's going to be, I know 8th place gets you in the playoffs next year, but
that's the other side of the coin.
It's going to be 9 or 10. I think quite strong teams in that division. So.
Well, we face that when it comes. I mean, I do feel for the likes of. Casper De Norre did quite a plaintive kind of interview where he said he might never get to play in the Premier League, which is a dream. Obviously, all young players now want to reach that level, and it was a big chance, and we missed out on automatic promotion by a point. I think that's the thing that really digs in your side, doesn't it, to get that close.
It will live. That will stick in the throat forever. We will forever look back on the league table from this season in years to come, and think about how close we came. And that's football. Every fan could do that.
It's also Millwall. The story of the club is not one of glory; it's one of near misses, and that's joins the great near misses of the past now, Merv. There it goes. So that's the end of the 25-26 season for the Knights. It's been an enjoyable one overall. We've played some really good football.
Yeah, it has.
I've enjoyed it.
It's been the most enjoyable for a long, long time. We've had some great memories, some great wins, some great goals.
And we'll see what the summer brings. And,
it's time for holiday.
It's time for a holiday. It's time for
a holiday from Millwall, a holiday from football, a holiday from social media. On a literal holiday, I'm off on holiday next week, and I want to try and just recharge, and then we'll go again in the World Cup. No doubt, we'll be. We could be. Well, we wouldn't be, but
we've got World Cup coming. Yeah, I find I get millwalled out, Merv, at a certain point, and I'm probably there now. I've got a couple of shows. I've got this one to do, and I've got the voicemails to do. I wanted to say thank you to you, Merv. It's been a really enjoyable season talking to you each week. And I know it's been popular, but I had the most bizarre experience last night. I arrived at the ground but early to get into my seat, and I was just having I visited the gents before. As I was washing my hands, the man next to me said, "I really love your show," and I was. I think this is the most surreal moment I've had. You got a lot of surreal moments following football.
Conversations at the urinal.
Yeah, that's one of them. So
have another podcast possibly there next year.
maybe so.
But
recording you there would be a laugh, wouldn't it? But I just want to say thank you, Merv. It's been great, great season, mate. Probably talk to you again in August, mate. Once we've had a bit of a break from the Lions.
Yeah, so, I think we need a recharge, don't we?
We do, mate. Big thank you, Merv Payne.
Cheers.
Well, I've been walking around today, sort of thinking, should I send a voicemail in, shan't I? And I'm really ringing in just to get things off my chest, really, to be honest with you. So, first of all, the positives. What a fantastic season. I mean, what memories. Going from the first day of the season at Norwich, brilliant win, in the sunshine, wonderful. And then, away days like Middlesbrough, that will live in my memory forever, Middlesbrough. The scenes at the end, in that away end, so privileged to be there. Just the pride, in our boys, the way they did it, the way they handled themselves. And I've got to say, 10 out of 10 to the players. The effort they put in, the dignity, the respect they show each other. And also a brilliant season from our captain, Jake Cooper. Really, really good. Solid, dependable. I think he won every single duel in the air that I saw in defence, certainly. And, it just fills me with immense pride, really. And then tinged with sadness, really, when we see the home leg last night, which we all went to. It was a fantastic atmosphere to begin with. And I just want to reflect on that because, Alex Neil has changed up the way we play. He's been a little bit less risk averse than Gary Rowett. But he's had the players, he's had the funding, and he's had some really, really good quality players there. Obviously, Femi Aziz, number one, I think our best player. Josh Coburn, who's come on late. Ivanovic, who's still very productive. And midfielders, Barry Bannon, Billy Mitchell, Casper, Derek, and in the earlier part of the season, Massimo Luongo. Really, really good. And our back four, our defenders, really fantastic. You can't really fault any of the players for what they did. And also Alex Neil as well, all in all, a very, very positive season. But looking at the game last night, I do think he was mugged off by Hull there. And this is why, and I really want to get this off my chest, and I'm a big fan of Alex Neil, but I think he fucked up royally. I really do. And I think that shows in his voicemail that he gave at the end of the game. I think he knows. Because he made a series of poor decisions, and tactically, I think he set us up completely wrongly. So this is my take of it. Hull played a 5-4-1. They did a classic Gary Rowett, away from home. There you go, you have the ball, you come and score a goal and we'll hit you on the counter, and it paid dividends. It's funny because both teams were playing the same low risk football, and I think our low risk football didn't pay off. Well, obviously it didn't, because the amount of possession we had after about the first 15 minutes, that last 30 minutes of the first half, I thought to myself, if we don't score a goal, we're not winning this, because we've blown ourselves out here. And as sure as fire, we didn't score a goal. So the first 15 minutes of the game, it was all Hull, but it was all Hull, you know, as we can look after it. They had lots of corners going down the flanks, but we defended the ball well in our box. They didn't really threaten. And then all of a sudden, the game changed momentum. We had a few turnovers in midfield, and I'll come to midfield a bit later on. But we had a few turnovers, momentum moved, and we were all over them. But again, we played the low-risk game. We went down the sides, around them, crossed the ball into the box, and that's where it ended. We didn't have any sort of finishing power. They defended really well. They smothered Josh Coburn, and they, you know, nullified our attack in the box, and they did a job. So this is where I'm leading to. I think the big tactical mistake that Alex Neil made was to fall into the trap that Hull set for us. And the Hull manager knew that we played low-risk football, which is, even though we attack, we play 4 at the back, we still essentially play low-risk football. And what I mean by that is we keep it out of the midfield, and we go down the flanks, and then we only go back into the centre of the pitch when we're around and about the penalty box. And that's low-risk football, right? That's percentage football. It pays off a lot of the time, and it served us well during the season. But Hull knew that. You know, they fucking knew that. And we just played the game that Hull wanted us to play. And I knew they were going to punish us because they left their 2 best players off for the second half. The Bellumi and the other kid, and they both scored a goal. You know, that Bellumi and the other kid whose name escapes me, Gatland or something like that, you know, they've been standout players. And as soon as I saw the lineups, I thought, I know what he's doing. He's gonna take away our sucker punches. He's gonna let us punch ourselves out, and he's gonna bring his 2 boys on. And he brought his boys on, and they fucked us over. And for me, you know, it was just so disappointing. It was so disappointing. Now then, Mr. Clever Bollocks, what should he have done? Well, this is what I think he should have done, right? And I say that sarcastically, you know, because I'm not a football manager. But for me, you got probably one of the best midfielders in the Championship, Barry Bannon, and he leaves the poor guy on the bench. And what you do is, in a game where a side is going to come and set up defensively with a row of 5 and a row of 4 and just leave one up top, you need your technicians. You don't need Casper Denor in midfield, I'm afraid. Sorry, Casper. No, he's been a great player for us, but he's a Billy Mitchell type, you know, workhorse in the middle. What you need, and I've been saying it over and over and over again as we've been getting closer to these crunch matches, you need Barry Bannon and you need Camille Negley, your 2 technicians playing together. And you attack down the middle. You go down the middle. You fuck the low-risk game off and you say, come on, boys, we're going for it, right? And, you know, we were caught betwixt and between because he's played Derek brilliantly as I thought Derek should be played. You got our back 4 who are not the greatest with the ball at their feet. You know, Ryan Leonard's getting a bit slow now. You got Tristan who is a bullock and can charge forward, but sometimes he trips over his own feet. You got Jake, and we know playing the ball at his feet is not his strength, but that's not to take nothing away. And you got Zach, who is actually a good little ball player. But what they've been doing, which is nice, is they've been dropping Derek Mazusako very deep, and trying to play out. But it's like, you know, we did that half and half. You drop Derek deep, he then finds space, he passes it on to Barry, right, who dominates in that kind of sort of middle of the park, centre circle, onto Camille Negley. You play through the middle. They got no defence against that. They're set up to nullify Aziz and Ballo and our wingers and smother Jake Coburn. And I'd have rolled the dice down the middle. You know, you still got Aziz, you still got Ballo. So I guess what it boils down to is one change, really. I wouldn't have played Casper Denor to start with. I'd have played Barry Bannon. And I'd have seen where that had got us. And maybe if we were a goal in front, you know, or even, dare I say it, 2 goals up, going into the second half, I'd have pushed it to 60 minutes and then shut up shop, right? And that's when you bring your Caspers on. That's when you bring your Billies on, right? And that's, you know, and you just shut down and you take off a creative and you bolster the defence. So I think Alex Neil just fucks up entirely there. And I'm an honest guy. I speak as I find. I'd say it to his face, you know, if I saw him. And I think he realised that. But more credit to the whole manager. He did the perfect job on us. And I've got to say, it hurts, you know, it fucking hurts to sit there in a cold blow Leyland and see those orange shirts or those tangerine, whatever they are, whatever stupid colour they are, go running down to their fans and doing somersaults. It fucking hurts. But you take your pain, you know, and you go again next season. So I'm really hopeful that Millwall can retain their key players. They can retain Femi and they can retain Tristan and all these good players they got. And maybe one or two little tweaks. I don't know what's happened between Barry Bannon and Alex Neil, but I saw there was a bit of something on social media on X leaking out about his wife or something slagging off Alex Neil in response to a tweet that was in a similar vein to what I'm saying. And that's sad, right? Because, you know, he changes games and I don't know why you don't start him. It's just beyond me. It's just beyond me. Anyway, look, well done Millwall, well done Alex Neil, you know, well done you players, and come on you Lions.
Morning Nick, Jim Hackett here after, well, the morning after the night before and everything that sort of promised so much over the weekend, and I think everybody was sort of slightly confident going into that game yesterday, and it's just unfortunate circumstances, Millwallness, everything you can sort of hold up against Millwall over the years came back to bite us as usual. So it shouldn't be that great a surprise, but I think this time it's tinged with disappointment because Hull didn't actually beat us. We beat ourselves, didn't we, on a couple of, well, both goals they scored. And, you know, throughout the game, we didn't really lay a glove on them last night. And I thought Alex Neil got out-thought by their manager and we got out-fought on the pitch. And it's slightly disappointing when you think how far we've come all year, where we've battled away and got results, you know. And again, you know, the gambles that Alex Neil's taken over the season have generally paid off. Last night's one gamble where he took the left side off, replaced it, and unfortunately, you know, within seconds we're down 1-0. And as good a goal as it was certainly defendable, and you know, people will have their opinions, but that's how it is. And it was unfortunate. Second goal, back to the old catastrophes that we used to suffer. But again, it's how it goes, isn't it? You know, we don't always lose by very slim margins. We tend to shoot ourselves in the foot big style, and that's what we did last night. I think going forward, you can see, listening to Alex Neil last night and watching him, you know, he was absolutely gutted, and I just do wonder, you know, how he fits himself into that, because, you know, he's given us such a great season, and I would hate him to be too hard on himself for one gamble that didn't pay off for him. But at the end of the day, managers are paid to make those decisions. He made it, and it didn't work out for us. But like I say, going forward, hopefully we get the rest during the summer, see who comes back, because no doubt there'll be 2 or 3 of our players depart in the place. And you know, I don't think if clubs were watching them last night, they probably wouldn't have took a lot out of it. I thought, well, they're worth what they're asking for. So let's just see where we go in terms of who stays and who goes. It'd be a very, very difficult decision, I think, for Alex Neil this year to see who he's getting rid of and who he's keeping. I think overnight there's been something about Mrs. Bannon having a little opinion about the club and the manager, but you don't know if that's just gossip or whether it's true. But however it works out, I'd just like to think that, you know, we've had a season to remember. You know, we can't be moaning and groaning about one result. I know it's the harshest of the lot because of the game it was, but over the season we've had a fantastic time, and if we'd have gone to the Premier League, would we have survived? I doubt it. And this way we've got another season of Alex Neil, and I think he'll get us back in the playoffs next year. And, you know, that little bit of experience last night might just have sorted some of our players out. I think we do need some sort of left-sided sort of strengthening, because, Ballo was a bit anonymous both games. I think he works hard, but he has no power and he has no sort of threat to anybody. I think Femi Aziz, if he goes, obviously needs replacing. And then we've got a lovely sort of three in midfield in terms of Casper, Billy and Derek, and it's what we go alongside them. So after the Bannon sort of spite from his missus, I can't see him staying on after the summer, but who knows where we'll go. But overall, I think we've come really far this season. We've got a little way to go. We haven't got that far to go, but we've got a little way to get everything back, regroup, and start the season, hopefully, with a clean slate and everybody, firing the same way, because we've certainly done that this year, and it would be a shame to go backwards based on one result. Okay, so good luck, Nick. Have a great summer, mate, and thanks for everything you do for this channel and for the Millwall supporters. Okay, so come on, you Lions.
Very kind, thank you, Jim. And before Jim Hackett there, to John Rankin, just anyone that has missed the soap opera that is Millwall. Only at Millwall can we go a point close to automatic promotion, exit the playoffs over two very hard-fought games, in the end outwitted by a decent side and decent manager, and then finish up with an EastEnders style soap opera row online with Mrs. Bannon slating the club for not picking, I think people online must have complained about Barry Bannon, which is, that's the internet for you, isn't it? People call him backwards Barry or something like that. And she's gone online to defend her bloke and accused Alex Neil of not being a decent manager, or words to that effect. So it's all been deleted now. So I'm sure the breakfast in the Bannon household would have been a bit frosty. It's a bit like your wife walking into your place of work and wanting to mix it with your governors over your report of what happens in the office or workplace or whatever the case may be. You wouldn't need it, dear listeners, would you? So have a few thoughts for Barry Bannon this morning. Because I'm not sure I would want all that, but anyway, there it is. So that's the soap opera aspect. There's everyone's saying similar things, and there's not much more you can say in the wake of what was a decisive loss in the end. I don't think anyone can hide from the fact that we were beaten well by a decent side last night. So good luck to Hull in the playoff final. Don't know who they're going to face as I record these words, Southampton and Middlesbrough. I wish them well in the final. I thought they handled the two legs quite well, actually. Maybe if we'd have got given that goal up there, then the whole picture would have changed. But as my old work manager used to say, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle, and that's not how it worked out. So all the best to Hull City. From me, that's going to be it for this show. I've got another show, probably a show and a half actually, to produce with the amount of voicemail that I've received on last night's game and the situation for the season. So I've not gone entirely. This is part one. Think of this edition as part one. We'll be back probably tomorrow with Harry and Michael and the remainder of the voicemails, and possibly one more little half show of voicemails, depending on how much I can fit into that edition. So there we go. From me, Nick Hart, thank you for listening, dear listeners. It's Arrivederci Millwall for now. Bye for now.
Achtung, Millwall.
Who do you want to watch?